What continues to amaze me is that even in 2024, shamelessly, we are still talking about illegal miners. Now, these people are not spirits. They are human beings. Whether they operate at night, in the day, they are human beings. And I know for a certain that we have some of the best security forces in this world. I know that from their performances within and outside the country. Anywhere you go in the world, people commend them. I do not want to believe that they are incapable of dealing with this situation. And I think a lot of the challenge has to do with leadership, you know. And if we cannot take decisive steps, in spite of all that we are doing now, even if we have to shut down any form of mining in these areas for a year, in the interest of Nigeria and Nigerians, there will be nothing wrong with that. You know, so when these things come back, my positions will be very, very clear in terms of support for the efforts of these committees, in terms of taking this. You know, we can't keep talking about the same thing year in, year out, budget in, budget out. We keep rolling the thing. When I was in the Soldier Ministry, we were talking of illegal miners, cadastral development, going to build various sheds for refining and buying. That's not the solution. The solution is to take decisive action against those illegal miners, prosecute them, see them to be jailed, interrogate them properly, get those who are sponsoring them. When you get there, those people there, those ones can't do anything like that openly. People are behind them. And when those people are dealt with, I'm sure when somebody hires you to go and engage in illegal mining, you say, the one that went there before, they are still in prison. Even the Oga that sent them is there with them. Until we take steps in that direction, I know Nigeria. They will always test the waters. Let me go ahead and read my Oga's speech. Remarks by the Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD, Speaker, House of Representatives, at the investigative hearing of the Joint Committee led by Committee on Solid Minerals on illegal mining in Nigeria, held on Monday, 15th July 2024, in the House of Representatives. So the chairman, my colleagues, our special guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to welcome you to this very important investigative hearing on illegal mining in Nigeria, which has huge implications for the economy of our nation. This investigative hearing is a response to the resolution of the House on the subject matter on 10th November 2023. This joint committee, led by the Committee on Solid Minerals Development, is therefore expected to embark on a comprehensive investigation into the reported illegal activities and make recommendations that will guide the House in taking necessary legislative action. Honorable colleagues and distinguished guests, we are all aware that illegal mining activity is a growing socio-economic challenge in Nigeria, which has brought innumerable economic losses to the country of the nation, to the economy of the nation, just as it has discovered poverty, high poverty level, especially among peasant farmers who depend solely on environmental resources for a living. Nigeria is richly blessed with solid minerals, which should bring great fortune to the country and the citizens, but the wealth is largely stolen by criminal elements who do not mean well for this country. Available reports indicate that an estimated 80% of mining in the Northwest region, for example, is carried out illegally, and the mining of large untapped mineral deposits in the area is the root of community violence. It is the same story in many parts of the nation. The House considers illegal mining an economic sabotage and accords this investigative hearing a priority, especially because many communities with mineral deposits, which should ordinarily be a blessing to them, live in agonizing conditions, economically and socially, arising from years of neglect and various deprivations and severe environmental degradation, air and water pollution due to the activities of illegal miners. The impact of the unprecedented illegal mining across Nigeria is unprecedented and must be stopped. Today's investigative hearing is a demonstration of our commitment and determination to take decisive steps towards addressing nefarious mining activities and the non-compliance with set standards in the solid minerals sector, including the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act Amendment Bill and the Nigerian Solid Mineral Development Company Establishment Bill, which are currently before the House, and for which a public hearing will be held on 17th July 2024. I therefore encourage all stakeholders present to ensure full participation as we attempt to find a lasting solution to the problem and to strengthen the solid minerals and mining sector as a whole. As I look forward to your recommendations, it is my honor to now formally declare the investigation hearing as well as the public hearing on aforementioned bills open. I wish you all fruitful deliberations. Thank you, and may God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
We need to address the critical issues, because last week I find myself in another committee discussing about the oil theft. When I saw a lot of submissions from various organizations, professional organizations, I think we need a support, prayers from Nigerians. This is the most critical aspect today. We are looking for revenue. There is revenue here. We are looking for money. People are saying that we don't have money in Nigeria. There is money in mining sector, but the challenge is enormous. We need the support of Nigerians through memos, inputs, and other things, and even prayers. I assured you, people are talking about bunkering. The money which is going out from illegal mining is more than what is going out from oil sector or bunkering. So we need to come together, work together, and see how we are going to assist our nation. Thank you very much, everybody, and more importantly, please, we need an input from all the sectors of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And we hope.
It is with great pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to each of you to the House of Representatives as we gather for this significant event, which marks the commencement of a series of public hearings dedicated to investigating illegal mining activities, underreporting extract/e-products by mining and quarry license operators, utilization of financial interventions in the Nigerian solid minerals sector amounting to trillions of naira within the solid minerals sector. And also, later on in the week, we would be having the public hearing for the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act Amendment Bill, as well as the Nigerian Solid Mineral Development Company Establishment Bill, respectively, which will be coming up on Wednesday, the 17th of July, 2024. The leadership of the 10th Assembly has found it expedient and with a sense of duty to carry out these investigative hearings to necessitate transparency and accountability, public participation, policy formation, and identify challenges and solutions that will ultimately lead to the revamping of our solid mineral sector. As we are all aware, illegal mining poses substantial risks to our nation's economy, environment, and security. The unregulated exploitation of our natural resources jeopardizes the sustainability of the mineral sector, leading to environmental degradation and revenue loss that could otherwise benefit our communities and nation as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable colleagues, it's imperative that we take, as a matter of urgency, decisive steps and necessary action to address this issue and ensure that our solid mineral sector operates within the framework of the law, protecting our natural resources for future generations. Your Excellency, the Speaker, as representatives of the people, the Parliament is deeply worried about the loss of revenue through unregulated and illicit mining operations, with the federal government disclosing that unlawful mining costs the country a whopping sum of $7 billion each year, with the only money coming from a 3% royalty paid by the few mining licensed miners. This development, as you all know, hampers the country's ability to maximize the benefits from its mineral resources. There is also the grave concern about the negative impacts of illegal mining, which has led to insecurity and conflicts over control of mining sites and their resources. These conflicts have escalated into violence, thereby exacerbating existing political and social tensions in the affected communities, which has resulted in the limited data availability and inadequate measures to control this illicit practice. This public hearing serves as a valuable platform for collecting insights, information, and recommendations from stakeholders, experts, and affected communities. By attentively listening to their testimonies and perspectives, we can gain a deeper understanding of the challenges posed by illegal mining and develop effective strategies to combat this illicit activity. I call upon all participants to engage in constructive dialogue, share their experiences and other practical solutions that will guide our legislative efforts towards regulating the solid minerals sector effectively. In conclusion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, honorable colleagues, and Your Excellency, as I implore all stakeholders and invited guests to feel free and at home as we interact throughout the aforementioned hearings, allow me to state emphatically that the time is now for us to work collaboratively and take immediate and decisive actions to revitalize and develop this critical sector for the overall benefit of all Nigerians while preserving our environment for future generations.
Coming to illegal mining, I'm going to talk on how the military sees it. There are so many other stakeholders that have one or two things to talk about, sir. From our various operations, sir, and the statistics that we have, we notice that, first of all, the framework guiding mining in Nigeria is very, very weak. It needs to be strengthened. Why do I say so, sir? In 2018 or so, during the last administration, there was a ban on illegal mining in Zamfara area, Zamfara Katsina general area, which even established a no-fly zone. Despite that ban, mining licenses were being issued to people to mine within that zone. So the strengthening of the institutional framework is very key. The leader of the House made mention of something about banning mining for like a year. It is very key we do that. Ban mining all across for 1 year. I know the country is going to somehow feel the effect in terms of revenue, but we need to go a little off the length in order to ensure that we get things right, so that we can decisively deal with those involved in this illegal mining. Then one thing we notice also is that, whether it's coincidence or what, we can't say, but we notice that insecurity thrives where this illegal mining is happening. Someone once said that the issue of banditry and terrorism is like a smoke screen to stop the government and the military from dealing decisively with these people. I can't for sure ascertain that fact, but I know fully well that there is a correlation between insecurity and illegal mining. Now, sir, on the issue of involvement of foreigners, we have foreigners involved in this illegal mining. The involvement of the elite in it, we can't tell. But we know that most of the time, when we catch these foreigners, they will tell us that they have connections. Let me use that word. I don't want to say some things, but sometimes you hand these people over and the next thing you see them released. We have as far as people from that's Burkina Faso coming to mine in Nigeria. So the straightening of our borders too is a factor. Why I'm saying all this is that there is need for the government to equip properly those involved to checkmate most of this illegal mining. There's need for government to equip them properly and also give them the marching order. You know, it's one thing to say, and another thing to see that the government is really committed to deal with people. Anybody caught in this illegal mine must be dealt with decisively, and examples should be made for others to know publicly that this is what the government is doing to ensure that we tackle that area. The third aspect we noted is, or let me say the fourth aspect is poverty. These areas where this illegal mining take place, the people are poor. Virtually lack of education is also part of the thing. Most of them that we get, one way or the other, they no formal education. And this illegal mining is, you know, the, let me say, the people perpetuating this thing use them. So it's their own source of livelihood, you know, the people within that area. So the army will give a little bit detail on some arrests that we've made or mining sites that we've raided. I'm just talking in general terms, sir. So what is the way forward? The way forward from our own view is that, one, we have to strengthen the regulatory framework for these mining activities, and also empower the agencies involved in checking mining activities for them to do their work. We could go into this banning of mining for a year or two and then properly get the acts right. Anybody seen in committing illegal mining will be dealt with decisively. Then number two, sir, is engaging the international community. In 2011 in Liberia, this same issue we are facing in Nigeria was obvious in Liberia. The international community was approached after they've seen the atrocities of things done, and that's when the issue of blood diamond came up. What did they do? You know, there's a carbon dating on every mineral resources that is in an area in the world. So they banned the Liberia diamond in the international.
Liberia or Sierra Leone, the blood diamonds.
Both. It's Liberia and Sierra Leone, both.
Okay.
Charles Taylor was the main person because that was how they starved him of cash.
Okay.
So they banned it in the international market. So they couldn't access this product. And of course, naturally, the mining activities started dying in those areas. So we could also approach the international community. Within this period that we are going to ban, we are going to ban the mining in Nigeria, to ban any gold from Nigeria in the international market. They can do it. And once that is done, it will reduce this illegal mining effectively. The third one is to engage the communities where these activities are done. And how do we engage them? We could sort of organize lectures through their the languages around there on how sustainable, legal sustainable mining are done and how they can key into it. And also the government could look into also how to give them another source of livelihood, because sincerely they live on this mining. Even when it is banned, it's to be difficult to get them out of mining because that is how they survive. So another source of livelihood, the government can look into it, set up a committee to look into it on how to give them another source of livelihood, while the ones that want to be involved in mining will be shown how legal, sustainable mining is being done. And then finally, sir, the government needs to, like I said, show that willpower that they actually want to tackle this thing by ensuring that anybody, no matter how highly placed, that is involved in illegal mining faces the books accordingly.
We will need, it's because of the formal application you made why you do not have your memoranda present, but would need you, when you get back to the office, please put a formal memoranda together and send it over to us. And I crave your indulgence that, after all, you're on record, you've been recorded, but it should contain all you have just presented to the House. I would want you to sit down, relax, let's take the rest, or better still, let's take the rest so that we can now engage once and for all. I crave your indulgence, yes? So, Army.
And as stated in the memo, the Nigerian Army conducts a wide range of operations across all the geopolitical zones of the country. I think virtually as it is now, we have the Nigerian Army deployed in almost every state of the country in one operation or the other. And because of this, what we do basically is to support those agencies that are constitutionally mandated to protect the critical national infrastructures of the country, including mining. And in doing that, in our operations, we've had to contend with illegal miners. And what we do is, after arresting them, we hand them over to the appropriate agency available in that area. Some of these agencies include the Department of State Security Services, the Nigerian Police Force, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Sometimes we do conduct operations together where we go to some of these illegal mining sites together and conduct operations, but because the Nigerian Army cannot prosecute them, we hand them over to those agencies to continue with the prosecution aspect. And as contained in the memo, from December to date, we've arrested 387 individuals in connection with illegal mining. We also have vehicles, and also some of these illegal these minerals that were arrested, which were handed over as exhibits to those agencies for them to be prosecuted. In summary, I could say from December till date, in Abia, we have 10 people arrested. In Ebonyi State, we have 12. The Federal Capital Territory and its environs, I mean places like Kuje, Gwagwalada, Buhari, and Co., we've arrested 276 individuals, while in Osun State, we've arrested 19. In Oyo, particularly the northern part of Oyo State, where they share boundary with Kwara State, that's, those places are very close to the old Oyo National Park. We've arrested around 55 people. I think they mine Konzite in that particular place with about 17 trucks loaded with Konzite. In Plateau, we have 25, while in Zamfara, we have 15. When the AVM was talking the other time, he mentioned the issue of the ban of mining activity in Zamfara, but sadly, we still arrested people in that place, meaning that it is still taking place. Just like I said, we continue to collaborate with the agencies that are constitutionally mandated to check illegal mining. But it is because we've realized there is a nexus between insecurity and illegal mining, which the chairman also alluded to in his opening remarks when he said, if you want, you cannot fight illegal mining without fighting insecurity. And at the same time, if you want to actually reduce insecurity in the country, those agencies that are also mandated to fight insecurity must also fight illegal mining. So in terms of challenges, I think the AVM has touched on some of the challenges which we have. I think the AVM, the civil defense men, and the man from Ministry of Solid Minerals, we've actually been involved in the issue of illegal mining, I think, since January. And when I came, I saw them. They are the same people from the agencies that have been handling this. The issue of host community, the AVM touched about it. There is poverty, and they are also involved in it. And I think this makes it very, very difficult to check illegal mining. It is not only the people coming from outside that are involved. The locals benefit from it. But the question is, what is the role of state? What is the role of local government in illegal mining? I think most of the things rest with the federal government, while the state and the local government don't actually have roles to play. I think we need to look for roles for both the state and the local government to get involved. We also discovered some of the companies, some companies have exploration licenses and not mining licenses. So what they do, they use one license to do the two. So I think then the issue of I think okay, the role of state and local government, I think I've talked about this. I think so far this is what the Nigerian Army does. We've mandated every Nigerian Army formation unit to continue to support those agencies that are constantly mandated to fight illegal mining towards ridding our country of illegal mining and improve the economy.
More of an active one as against theoretical. It was more of a practical presentation as against theoretical. Yes, in as much as you adopted a lot of what the Chief of Defense Staff said, the truth is that Chief of Defense Staff is more in directing, while the Army have more boots on the ground. We will appreciate it if you can go a bit further and give us a bit more detail. Also, we would, as much as possible, I'm happy you've already started touching on some of the issues with regards to the way forward. However, there are equally 1-2 other areas we would require some level of clarity from. But we will appreciate it if you can go and put some more flesh in terms of detail, especially with regards to the way forward in your presentation.